What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. I'm actually on my way to the gym today, and I want to talk about a couple things really quickly. First of all, I actually signed up to a new gym, and if you noticed in a previous video I posted up actually a couple months back now, I purchased a Hex bar. So a lot of my fitness equipment that I actually did purchase, I ended up just reselling, and that's simply because the new gym I joined has pretty much everything. The name of that gym is Fortis Fitness. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to check that out. The reason I actually joined it was because I was looking for a little bit of a different type of gym, not the typical type of LA Fitness or Bally's Total Fitness, or here we have Good Life Fitness in Canada. I'm not sure about the United States if they got it there, but a lot of these places are sort of the commercialized gyms where you can't really do powerlifting, you can't really make noise, and you know, a lot of people tend to complain if you actually do those things. So really I wanted to go somewhere that was a bit unique, I suppose, and someone has a lifting community, as I like to call it. And really I think I found that with Fortis Fitness, and I'm pretty pleased in actually going there. So I've been going for about a little over a month now, and as a result I've noticed that I've had to change my split. So in previous videos I've mentioned that I was going to the gym 5 days a week, and previously I was doing Monday chest, Tuesday I believe I was doing back, and then Wednesday legs, and then I was repeating. So I was essentially, because protein synthesis typically lasts around, there's mixed opinions on that, but I would say around 36 hours or so. Now, because of that, I would basically hit chest on Monday, and then I'd hit it again on Thursday, because it would basically reset the protein synthesis cycle. Wow, I'm just getting tongue-tied here. So I've changed that, and that's simply because the weight I'm lifting now is much heavier. So I'm trying to do more of a powerlifting type of split as opposed to a bodybuilding type of split. Now, that's not to say I'm still not doing bodybuilding, and I still have a pretty big interest in that. I'm kind of just taking a break from it for the time being. So I'm just doing a little bit of bodybuilding here or there, but for the most part I'm doing powerlifting, and that really means that I'm going to the gym presently 3 days a week. So I'm actually going to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and what that's allowing me to do is get the recovery time in between my heavy lifting sessions. So because I'm not doing high volume, 3 sets of 10, which is really more of a bodybuilding type of parameter, I'm more leaning towards doing the powerlifting type of split. So I'm doing kind of like a 5x5 or a 5x3 method. I'm checking a lot of different methods on different forums and different websites and seeing what works best for me. Right now, I just have specific goals in mind that I'm working towards, so I'm trying to build up my lifting really until I get to that point. So those goals are pretty much by the end of 2013, so basically by the new year, 2014, what I would like to be able to do is have my 500-pound deadlift, which I'm pretty close right now. I'm actually going to be trying for today's a leg day for me, and I'm going to be trying for 455, and I want to be doing that for reps. So I'd like to get a 500-pound PR by the end of this year, which I think is possible, and I think it's definitely doable. I'm going to be more than pleased if I actually pull it off, and that's because I've only been deadlifting for about 6 to 8 months now. So with that in mind, my deadlift at 500 pounds would be just ridiculous, especially because I only weigh about 185 presently. So I'd be pretty pleased with being able to pull that off, being new to lifting and all that stuff, especially new to powerlifting. So 500-pound deadlift is my one goal so far. I'd like to be able to do 315 on the bench, 4 reps. Now, it's a little bit frustrating because, and I mentioned in previous videos that I actually had a shoulder injury here in my left shoulder, which is basically a rotator cuff injury, and I've been slowly rehabbing it over the past 8 months or so. And it's taken a very, very long time. Because of this shoulder injury, it's causing me to kind of take it back a notch in terms of my actual bench press. So what I've been doing is lifting a little bit lighter. Really, I'm only going up to 275 at most for reps, and I'm doing so painfully. So I feel a little bit of a sting when I actually do the reps. Not so much so that it's actually dangerous or hazardous in any way. In most cases, when I am doing that weight, I'll ask for assistance from a spotter as well. So that's my second goal. It's going to be, so first, 500-pound deadlift. Second, 315 on the bench for reps. Right now I think I could do that as a PR, but comfortably for reps I want to be able to do it. I'm just limited by my shoulder. I think I can actually pull that off without issue if I wasn't injured. So those two things, and then I'd actually like to be able to do a 405 squat. So that's 4 plates on each side, and I'd like to be able to pull that off for my squat. Presently my squat is a little bit weak in my opinion, so I'm working towards that. And again, it's something I've only started within the past 8 months or so. I'm still relatively new to squatting and deadlifting. Prior to that, I was mostly just doing the basic bodybuilding type of stuff, not so much the powerlifting or the Olympic lifting. So with this new gym and the fact that I am going there, I'm going to be getting more involved in those things. So an interesting note as well, I actually found this gym because I was watching a fitness YouTuber, and he's actually here in Toronto, and his name is Omar. I'll put his link in the description below. I'll annotate the video somewhere as well. And oddly enough, my very first time going to that gym, he was actually there, so it was pretty neat. I let him know that I'm actually a big fan of his content. And Omar, if you're watching this, I'll see you in the gym. Yeah, so have a look at his channel. He's got some pretty good stuff there, and he's a super nice guy, great to get along with, and I'm really pleased to have joined that new fitness community, I guess you can say, in that new gym. So that's what I really wanted to talk about today, was the fact that I have joined that gym, and I'm sort of changing my split in a sense. Aside from that, what I wanted to cover briefly was really the importance of sleeping and rest time. Now, I've discussed this before in previous videos where I've mentioned deloading and things of that nature, but the reason I want to talk about sleeping and rest time today in particular is because last night I actually spent most of my evening sleeping on the couch. Now, I didn't do that. I guess you could say I did choose to do that. Now, the reason being, my girlfriend was actually making she's a cook by profession, so she was making food in the kitchen, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like going to bed by myself and sleeping by myself, or sleeping with the dogs, and kind of they take up the whole bed. So what I ended up doing was just basically falling asleep on the couch while I was leaving something running on the TV. The downside of this, though, is that today is my leg day, and I will be going for a 455 deadlift. So because of my limitations in terms of my sleep last night, or I wouldn't even call it limitations, I just think I was being stupid, but because I didn't get a solid night's sleep, it may actually hinder me and hinder my ability to do the weight, which I intend to do today. So I'm able to actually basically get my weight up today. I'll see how it goes. When I have my leg days and when I'm trying to do my heavier weights on those days, especially now with my powerlifting split, it feels very methodical. It almost feels like I have to plan my meals throughout the day in advance, ensure that I have a certain amount of calories pre-workout, a certain amount of macros pre-workout, in order to sustain me and fuel, give me energy for that workout for the day. So for today, I'm actually way off. Like, I've only had one meal so far. I didn't get my breakfast bowl in, which, if you know me and if you're subscribed to me, you'll know that I really am not too pleased about that right now. I only got one meal today. I got my sandwich, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna probably have like a pre-workout protein shake, which I don't like to do too much, and just try and bang it out. I mean, the thing is, when you don't get proper night's sleep, and when you don't give yourself that, especially if you're training really hard, you are limiting yourself when it comes to your actual lifting and when it comes to your recovery. Most of your recovery time, it actually takes place while you're sleeping. It's while you're in your REM cycle. So while you're essentially, when you lay your head on the pillow at night, and it's really great if you can do that early on, and you cannot go to bed, at early hours of the morning, or late in the evening, say. It's great if you can get a solid night's sleep, because you are resting and recovering, and your muscles are growing and repairing themselves and doing all that greatness while you're sleeping. So a lot of people will say that you tend to go catabolic while you're sleeping, and if you're a believer in that, I don't know, I have mixed opinions on it, and then I've tried different things. If you're a believer in that, it's great to have things like cottage cheese right before bed, just a couple spoonfuls. It has some great protein, great macros there, and you can leave that sitting in your stomach and sort of digesting, slow digesting, or micronized digesting, whatever the hell you want to call it, while you're sleeping. So because I didn't get the greatest sleep last night, because my REM cycles were so screwed up, I don't think I'm fully prepared for my lifting today. But we'll see how it goes, and that's not to say I'm not going to try anyways. The only thing is, when I write it in my little notebook, if I don't hit those numbers, I'm going to be doing a lot of scratching off and stuff like that. But whatever, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. Make sure you're getting proper sleep. I intend on posting a lot of videos and photos from the new gym I'm going to. They've actually moved to a new location today, so I'm very eager to check that out. It's going to give me a lot more room to do filming and stuff like that. For the most part, I've only been posting videos on Instagram, but I will start to post more of those videos on YouTube as well. If you'd like to see those type of videos, me lifting and whatnot, let me know. Leave it in the comment section down below. I haven't been posting those type of things because I'm not really a fitness YouTuber per se. I'm more of a vlogger. I just like to talk about fitness and health and all that stuff, but I don't know if I want to go to the extent of actually posting videos of myself lifting. Unless you want to see that. If you want to see that, sure, I'll do it. You know, I've been talking about collabing with a couple other fitness people, so it might go in that direction. Who knows? Really, I'm open to it right now. I'm open to anything. So if you want to see that type of stuff, again, comment down below and let me know. That's pretty much it. Have yourself a great Friday, have yourself a great weekend, and take care.